So Pusha T continues whooping Travis Scott as Push isn't slowing down, and we got another one from the rapper lashing Travis. However, there's a plot twist that hit just hours ago that doesn't necessarily dispel Push's claims about Travis, although this looks to have severed Pusha T's ties to the conflict if it turns out to be legit, at least in some way, as moving forward, Push could be in this fighting for people he's no longer even cool with anymore, as you'd see. And before we dive in, at the latter part of the video, we got some more Eminem's sneaky narrative to put him in a basket of washed rappers, and thankfully even legacy hip-hop media journalists are beginning to notice these attempts. So in this case, we didn't have to do all the heavy lifting, and today we also have more from 50 Cent that shows his reaction to the bombshell $260 million lawsuit filed against Tyler Perry by actor Derek Dixon that shows Cat Williams is on a streak in 2025.
Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
And starting with Pusha T, before we get to the plot twist that could invalidate his beef with Travis Scott, since this all started over the meltdown verse that included a Pharrell Williams diss on Travis Scott's Utopia, we got to hear from rapper Bun B of UGK, and apparently we shouldn't write off Travis Scott, and Bun B believes that Travis isn't just gonna sit down and take the bum whoopings from Pusha T.
It's an unavoidable part of it, but I don't think he operating in that space. So I think he is willing to just throw caution to the wind and be like, you know what, I don't really fuck with him anyway. And they not lose. They don't. Push is not. You don't see Push at award shows. You don't see him at clubs and parties. Nope. They don't mix like that. They mix with their own. And they pretty good on the streets as well. So it's whatever. That being said, Travis ain't about to back down. Travis ain't about to back down. He's from Houston. He got.
So you think Travis coming back? Travis gonna come back with a verse on
I wouldn't be surprised if you hear something before the weekend's done. It's either go into it or act like it didn't happen. But the problem is that the people are going to demand a response. When these beefs happen, you have to respond. The code is you can't I'm gonna be the biggest man. I'm just gonna let it go. Like a water off a duck's back. I'm just gonna let it go. Not that ain't been a part of your character all this time. You know what I'm saying? You can't be walking around with gloves on waiting for somebody to tie him up and then turn down the first fight you get. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I've been around Travis enough to know that no, he's not finna take that line down. He's absolutely not going to allow his public perception to be played with like that. But you got to be careful when people try to bait you in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very careful.
Cause this Pusha is a diss artist. He got one of the best diss. You know, he went at Drake.
He operates in this space. This is not new to him. This is not a problem for him, and he don't answer to people in that way. Not saying that Travis answer to people, but Travis got a fan base that's huge
and proceed with extreme caution.
And of course the reactions continue to be split. Pusha T really a Twitter rapper? He will get all this hype on Twitter, but will sell 30,000 first week. In the real world, he don't get play like that. And to this user fired back with, Pusha T really a Twitter rapper? Ah yes, the multi-Grammy nominated man who has been rapping since before the majority of us were born is only known on an app that was made 29 years after his birth. Please be for freaking real. And the fact that Pusha T kept this inside until he started going on interviews is more than enough proof that he's doing this the old school way. As these days, rappers just go on social media to rant as soon as they feel disrespected, rather than take it to the studio and do interviews after. So regardless of if people think this is clout chasing, this is also the traditional way, and some believe Bun B is setting up Travis like a chicken walking into KFC, Bun B gassing Travis up to get cooked. And some have added, respectfully, Travis isn't capable of doing anything to Push unless Sci-Hi is writing for him, and even then, that still won't be enough. But remember, we saw some hypocritical hip-hop heads and even rappers approve of Benzino using ghostwriters to diss Eminem, so you can't even trust rappers these days to uphold tradition. And Pusha T wasn't done whooping Travis Scott in public, as now he's called him a whore, he's called him shameless, and now he's called him a rapper who doesn't actually rap, essentially a fraud in the hip-hop genre.
I just thought it was disrespectful. I'm like, man, you know, we don't even want you here, to be honest. Like, we're not here to hobnob with any rappers, and I personally don't like rappers who don't rap. Right. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want it. So, you know, to come and interrupt the session, to do something backhanded and backbiting, and not for nothing, like, man, I didn't have to put my arm around you before. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, to go along with the title, so be it, he does this numerous times. You know what I'm saying? He'll do it with his mentor.
Right.
Ye. You know what I'm saying? He was even instrumental in the whole beef now, to like that verse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Egging that on. I don't want nobody who don't rap to egg nothing on. You don't rap. Stay out of rappers' business. You specifically, stay out of rappers' business. Right. Don't do that.
However, we got something that could invalidate Pusha T's link that led to the whooping of Travis Scott in the first place, because Push blamed this on the incident with Pharrell Williams in Paris that started the whole thing. Check it out from Academics, who revealed that when they played Meltdown for them in Paris, Drake's verse wasn't included on the song at the time.
Ask me how I noticed. Yo, Pusha, this is what I've been told, Pusha. They said you got your info wrong, you know? You know where the sources come from. Don't even, you know? They say you got your info wrong. They say you must just be trying to sell an album. You're dissing Travis for no reason. They said, basically, whenever that song got played for you, Meltdown, Drake did not record on that song at that point. He couldn't have played it. And I'm getting told less than 24 hours before the song came out, the song was made. Don't ask me how. So they said this idea that Travis tucked the verse. You got some bad info, my boy. Bad info. Now, granted, I still think you could be mad, because maybe you thought he was cool enough with you that he should take the verse off, but he ain't gonna take the verse off, right? But apparently, the info on here, Meltdown, Drake recorded that verse less than 24 hours before the song came out. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? So just somebody give the update to my man Pusha. We're not trying to say Travis ain't a disloyal snake or whatever you want to call him, but allegedly the verse in question, Meltdown, was recorded 24 hours before it dropped. That's what I've been, told. Yeah, that's what I've been told, okay? Now take that with a grain of salt. I don't care.
So while it wasn't a snake move when they met in Paris, if this is correct, he still let Drake diss Pharrell Williams shortly before the album dropped. But we can't also ignore the fact that the meeting in Paris is what got Pusha T emotionally invested in this, because he believes Travis Scott came in there to intentionally play them. So if this is true, it doesn't change everything, but I've seen users claim it doesn't make a difference, and I don't think they are being entirely honest, because remember, Pusha T is pissed his studio session got interrupted by Travis when Travis knew that there was a diss towards Pharrell Williams. But now apparently the diss wasn't present at the time, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this commotion in the comments section, and on the death of Slim Shady being snuck into a list to highlight washed rappers. A graphic has been making the rounds that shows, quote, "My GOAT is washed starter pack," and what you'd notice immediately is the fact that it includes Eminem's best received album out the gate since MMLP2 on a list with Carter 6, Vultures 2, among others. And like we already pointed out on X, this was most likely made by a Ye fan, and like they say, misery loves company, because this person believes their GOAT is washed and want other legendary rappers to join. And it was good to see a legacy hip-hop media journalist for once shut down these narratives, as we got Justin Hunt respond with, "Death of Slim Shady doesn't belong here," and it says "my GOAT" when this album opened to overwhelmingly positive reception out the gate from fans, unlike say even Relapse that began to grow on fans years later en masse. So how it got put on a list of "my GOAT is washed" is head-scratching inducing, and when I say that many of these critics are stuck in 2017, people think it is a joke, and it is good to see the people who were triggered that missed the entire point of the album that was literally on the title of the project drop comments like, "If there's one big problem with the death of Slim Shady, in my opinion, is how he keeps trying to be provocative."
That's the best part.
To the point it just stops clicking and becomes corny. And of course, this wouldn't be complete without reminding us about Eminem's age. Em is 52, is a grandpa, and yet keeps trying to act like it is still 2000s, and people think he's a misogynist, so he has to prove something. And you know someone who couldn't even make it to Guilty Conscience 2 because of how triggered they got by Slim Shady. Mission accomplished. And this is why Shady escaped death. These people are so mad that after Eminem dropped a bad album in 2017, which by the way is still better than some of these, he came back with better albums than what their faves are putting out now, and he beat the worst allegations, loudly crying emoji. They genuinely can't accept that he made a good album, and we've got 3 since Revival that have opened to positive reception from fans: Kamikaze, Music to be Murdered By, and The Death of Slim Shady. And even Missionary doesn't really belong here because it didn't spark outrage like say Revival or Carter 6. Yes, people expected more, but they didn't hate on the album. And moving on to the Tyler Perry story that got users on social media shook as we got some serious allegations shaking up his empire. Here's a quick rundown before we get to 50's reaction to the $260 million lawsuit filed by actor Derek Dixon on June 13th, 2025 in LA Superior Court. Dixon, who appeared in 85 episodes of The Oval and Ruthless, claims Perry turned his shots at fame into a nightmare of sexual harassment and assault from between 2019 to 2024. And this all kicked off when Dixon met Perry at a studio event while working event staff, and Perry offered him acting roles, including a recurring part as Dale on The Oval. But according to Dixon, it spiraled into something else that led to the lawsuit, and the lawsuit details some wild incidents starting in 2020 at Perry's Georgia home, where Dixon says Perry, after serving drinks, climbed into his bed and rubbed his thighs in a sexual way, and things escalated in 2020 during a Bahamas cast trip, with Dixon alleging Perry groped him again. Then in 2021 at Perry's home, Dixon claims Perry pulled down his underwear and assaulted him. Dixon has got some screenshots of text messages, like Perry asking, "What is it gonna take for you to have guiltless sex?" And Dixon says Perry dangled career promises, like producing his pilot Losing It, as a way to keep him quiet, though the project never happened. And now Dixon is claiming to suffer from PTSD, and these actions led to him quitting The Oval in 2024 after an EEOC complaint, only to face unpaid leave as retaliation. However, Tyler Perry's legal team, led by attorney Matthew Boyd, is fighting back, calling it a scam and insisting Perry will not be shaken down. And so far, no criminal charges have been filed yet, and Tyler Perry hasn't spoken publicly beyond that. This remains a civil case for now, but of course, since Tyler Perry is a big deal with massive influence around the world, especially with the aunties in many communities who don't play with his shows that air in over 190 countries. So of course, the allegations are a big deal that could change the course of his legacy depending on how this plays out. And if you recall, Diddy's case also started with a civil lawsuit, and it has since spiraled. And Derek Dixon is seeking $260 million, citing lost wages and emotional damage. So if this is true, this is gonna be a huge blow to Tyler Perry's reputation as a mentor to black talent in Hollywood. And 50 Cent first posted this in response to the lawsuit. Did that clown just say what I think he said? Nah, we ain't jacking this ish, gang. No way. And 50 wasn't done, as he also alluded to the infamous Cat Williams interview that continues to be somewhat prophetic, when Cat Williams ushered in the new year with some tea.
He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. Victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody. When our people call out for help, we got to understand. You know what I mean? Like, we put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them could walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And 50 posted this. Tyler, that case is bull crap. Don't worry about it. Worry about this dude here. Facepalm emoji. He's gonna have a field day with this ish. LOL. And this blew up under 50's post. Every dude Cat Williams talked about on Shannon Sharp's podcast got sued afterwards. And that will be all for today, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.